National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Binipurarachi, together with Sharifa Tahir. The President instructs to conduct with full state patronage the cremation of Chief Incumbent of Atamasthane, Most Venerable Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera. The Lanka Sathusa reduces the price of 6 essential consumer items. The tension of Parliament on conducting examinations of the law college in the English language. 38 local scientists among prominent scientists in the world. Several reservoirs reached the spill level. Lives of more than 1 billion children worldwide are being threatened by climatic influences.
Moving on to those and other stories in detail now, taking a look at the top stories. Head of the Atamasthane, Venerable Dr. Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera, has passed away at the age of 69 years last night.
The Venerable Thera has been hospitalized for some time due to a disease condition. He was born in Pallegama in Matale on the 2nd of January 1953. He had received his ordination in the year 1968. Thereafter, the Venerable Thera had received Bhikkhu education at the Mahavihara Pirivena and later on the Balika Kanda Vidyodaya Mahapirivena and Sadalanka Shastrodaya Pirivena. Venerable Sirinivasa Thera had received Upasampada in the year 1975. He had also received the master's degree from the Kelaniya University. Venerable Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera had also functioned as the acting chief incumbent of the Ruwanvali Mahasaya and the Mirisavatiya Chaitya. He had also acted as the chief incumbent of the Abhegiri Vihare and appointed as the chief incumbent of the Ruwanvali Mahasaya in 1995. In the same year, Venerable Sirinivasa Thera was appointed as the Chief Sanganayaka of the Northern and Central Disava. Upon the passing away of the Atamasthana-adhipati Pallegama Jnanaratana Thera, Venerable Sirinivasa Thera was appointed to the vacant post in the year 1997 at the age of 44 years. Among the Sasana services conducted under the leadership of Venerable Thera included the construction of a second Ranveta at the Sri Mahabodhi, installation of the security gates by expanding the lower level of the Ranveta and the modernizing of the Sri Dalanda Perahera Mavata. The Venerable Thera was also instrumental in reconstructing the Great Wall of the Mahavihare and the construction of the Dhamma Sermon Hall where more than 10,000 devotees could assemble. A large group including the Mahasangha and politicians had paid their last respect to the remains of late Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera at a private funeral parlour in Colombo. The body was brought to Anuradhapura this afternoon. The remains were placed at the Sannipatha Hall in the Anuradhapura Mahavihare this evening. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed to conduct the cremation ceremony of the Atamasthana-adhipati Venerable Dr. Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera with full state patronage. The committee has been appointed under the leadership of Minister of Buddha Sasana Vidura Wickramanayake and Governor of the North Central Province Mahipala Herath to coordinate the funeral arrangements. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena is showing a message of condolence on the demise of Venerable Dr. Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera says the Thera's departure is an irreparable loss to the Buddha Sasana. The Prime Minister in his message recalls with respect the patronage extended by the late Thera in the development of the sacred areas of Mahavihare and Mahamevnava. Condolences have also been extended in Parliament today over the passing away of Venerable Dr. Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera.
The Lanka Sathusa has reduced the prices of 6 essential consumer items. The new price revisions come into effect from today. Accordingly, the price of a kilo of garlic has been reduced by 60 rupees by making the new price of a kilo of this commodity item at 490 rupees. The price of a kilo of wheat flour has also come down by 55 rupees and the new price is 320 rupees. The price of a kilo of sprats has also been decreased by 50 rupees. Accordingly, the Lanka Sathusa now sells a kilo of sprat fish for 1,450 rupees. The price of a kilo of gram Dal has been reduced by 30 rupees and the price of a kilo of white sugar by 15 rupees. Measures have also been taken to reduce the price of a kilo of white kakulu rice by 5 rupees.
And meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that government is ready to implement prudent economic management after successful debt restructuring. Delivering a special statement on tax policy today, President Wickremesinghe noted that it was not possible to strengthen the economy without increasing the revenue of the country, which will compel him to reluctantly make tough decisions in order to rebuild the nation.
ලංකාවේ ණය ප්‍රතිව්‍යුහගත කරන වැඩසටහනේ වැදගත් පියවරක් ගිය සතියේ සිදු වුණා. අපේ රාජ්‍ය ඇමතිතුමා යටතේ කණ්ඩායමක් IMF සංවිධානයේ වාර්ෂික රැස්වීමට සහභාගී වුණා. IMF සංවිධානයේ ප්‍රධානත්වයෙන් ලංකාවට ණය දුන්න රටවල් සමහර පුද්ගලික ආයතන එක්ක එක රැස්වීමක් තිබ්බා. ඒ රැස්වීමේදී 75කට වැඩි පිරිසක් ඍජුව හා සූම් තාක්ෂණයෙන් සහභාගී වුණා. මේකේ මූලික කාරණේ උනේ ලංකාවට ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම ණය දුන්න රටවල් තුන ජපානය, චීනය, ඉන්දියාව පොදු වේදිකාවකට පැමිණලා මේ ගැන සාකච්ඡා කරන්නට ඊටකට ගත යුතු පියවර කුමක්ද කියලා ණය සහන ලබා දෙන්න. ඉතින් මේ රැස්වීමේදී එකාතකින් IMF සංවිධානයත් ලංකාවත් විශේෂයෙන්ම පෙන්වුවේ මේ පොදු වේදිකාවට තියෙන උවමනාව. ඉන්දියාවත් චීනෙත් ඒ ගැන තවත් දුරට විමර්ශනය කළා පිළිතුරු දෙනවා කියලා දැන්නුවා. ඇමරිකාවේ භාණ්ඩාගාරයේ සහකාර ලේකම්වරයෙකුත් එතෙන්ට පැමිණියා. දැන් මේ සියල්ලම අපිට කරන්නට අවස්ථාව ලැබුණේ IMF සංවිධානයේ සමග සාකච්ඡා කළා අපි ගත්ත තීන්දුව ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන නිසා. අපේ ආයවැය ප්‍රාථමික ආයවැය අතිරික්තයක් ලබාගත යුතු බවට IMF සංවිධානය අපිට දැනුම් දුන්නා. අපිටත් උවමනා නිසා අපි ඒකට එකඟ වුණා. ආදායම දලදේශීය නිෂ්පාදනයෙන් 8.5 ඉඳන් 14.5 15 දක්වා වැඩි කිරීමටත් තීරණය කරා. ඒ කරන්න ඉන්නේ 20 26 වෙනකොට. මේක එක සැරේ කරන්නට අමාරුයි. ඉතින් මෙතනදී තිබුණේ පළමුවෙන්ම කොහොමද අපේ ආදායම් වැඩි කරන්නේ කියලා. ගිය අවුරුදු දෙකේදී රුපියල් බිලියන 2300ක් මුදල් මුද්‍රණය කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා උද්දමනය වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. 70ක් 75කට ගිහින් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ආහාර උද්දමනය ඊටත් වඩා වැඩි වෙලා තිබුණේ. ඉතින් මෙතනදී මේවා පාලනය කරන්නටත් උවමනයි, පාලනය කරන්න ආදායම ගන්නටත් උවමනයි. ඉතින් මේ සාකච්ඡා කරද්දී අලුත් බදු ක්‍රමයක් ඉදිරිපත් වුණා. එකක් අපනයන කර්මාන්ත වලටත් බදු ගෙවන්න උවමනයි කියලා IMF සංවිධානයේ දැනුම් දීලා තිබුණා. ඒ ගැන දැන් විශේෂයෙන්ම අපනයන ශාස්ත්‍ර ප්‍රශ්න නගලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කාරණා අරගෙන IMF සංවිධානයට යවන්නත් අපි සාකච්ඡා කරලා තියෙනවා. එතනින් විග්‍රහ කරන්නට. අපි වැඩියෙන්ම බදු අරගත්තේ වක්‍රව. රටේ හැම එක්කෙනාම දුප්පත් ජනතාවත් බහුතරයක් ඉන්න දුප්පත් ජනතාවටත් ඒ වක්‍ර බදු ගෙවන්න සිදු වුණා. අපේ ඍජුව ගත්ත ආදායම් 120යි. විශේෂයෙන්ම ඒ ගැන IMF සංවිධානයට ප්‍රශ්න තිබුණා. එයා කිව්වේ විශේෂයෙන්ම ඍජු බදු වලින් ගන්න ප්‍රමාණය 120කට වඩා වැඩි වෙන්න ඕනේ. නැත්නම් මේක සාර්ථක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. පොදු ජනතාවට දුප්පත් ජනතාවටත් බදු ගෙවන්න සිදු වෙනවා කියලා. ලක්ෂ 2ක ආදායම ඉන්න අයගෙන් සීමා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා භාණ්ඩාගාරයත් IMF සංවිධානය සාකච්ඡා කරා. ඒකෙන් ඒ උවමනා ඒ අරමුණ ඉෂ්ට වුණේ නැහැ. අන්තිමට සිදු වුණේ ලක්ෂයකට වැඩි ආදායම් වැඩි කොටසකටත් විශේෂයෙන්ම ආදායම් බදු අය කිරීම. මේ ගැන රටේ විශාල ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා. බදු මෙහෙම දොලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. අපිට මේ බදු ක්‍රමය නැත්තම් අපිට ඕන ඉලක්කේ නොලැබෙන්න පුළුවන්. 20යි 26 වෙනකොට 14.5%ක් 15%ක දලදේශීය නිෂ්පාදනයේ ආදායම් ලබා ගන්න එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි 90 ඒකෙන් ඉවත් වුණොත් IMF ආධාර අපිට ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. IMF සහතිකය ලැබෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ලෝක බැංකුව, ආසියානු සංවර්ධන වැනි ඒ ජාත්‍යන්තර ආයතන වලත් මේකේ සහයෝගය දෙන රටවල් වලත් ඒ ආධාර අපිට නොලැබෙනවා. එහෙනම් ආපහු අපිට අර පෝලිං යුගයට යන්න තියෙනවා. මේක අමාරු කාලයක්. ඒකයි මම එදා කිව්වේ මේ වැඩ කටයුතු බාරගත්තාම ගිය මාසෙත් කිව්වේ මීට වඩා අමාරු කාලයක් අපිට යන්න තියෙනවා. කවුරුවත් මේක කැමැත්තෙන් කරන්නේ නැහැ. අකමැත්තෙන් හරි අපිට සමහර තීරණ ගන්න තිබෙනවා. ඒත් ඒ තීරණ දිහත් විටින් විට අපි යලිත් සලකලා බලනවා. මට උවමනා විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ රටට ණය ප්‍රතිව්‍යුහගත කිරීමේ වැඩසටහන සාර්ථක කළා මහා කන්නේ හොඳ අස්වැන්නක් ලැබුණාම ඒකෙන් ආර්ථික වාසියක් අරගෙන ඉදිරියට යන්න. එතකොට අපිට තියෙන බර ඒ වගේම අඩු වෙනවා. අනික් අතට අපේ විදේශ විනිමය සංචතිය ඒ වගේම වැඩි කරන්නත් මම මීට ඉස්සෙල්ලා කතා කරලා තිබෙනවා. මම හිතන්නේ මේ පියවර කීපයෙන් අපිට ඉදිරියට යන්න පුළුවන්. වෙන කවුරුවත් නැති අවස්ථාවේදී මම මේ වැඩ කටයුත්ත බාරගත්තා. ඉතින් මම හිතුවා මගේ යුතුයකමක් තියෙනවා කියලා මේ පසුබිම ගැන කියලා ඒත් මේ කාරණා ගැන තවදුරට සාකච්ඡා කරන්න ආණ්ඩුව ලෑස්තියි.
Moving on to more local stories, 6 draft bills presented by the Ministry of Justice were passed with revisions in Parliament today. The bills that were amended were dangerous drugs, notary public, registration of the power of attorney and last will. The Parliament has also discussed in depth over the decision to conduct examinations of the Law College in the English language. Samaki Janabalawegaya parliamentarian Hesha Vithanage said that the minister has presented some constructive proposals. A gazette notification has also been issued relating to the fact that education in the law college should be conducted in the English language. He further said that large groups of students who have admitted to the law college have requested to give them an opportunity to sit for the examinations.
Minister Vijayadas Rajapaksa said that the decisions will be given to the Assembly by himself in the capacity of President of the Law Students' Council and also by the Chief Justice.
Parliamentarian Lakshman Kiriyala said that this is a great injustice and also said that he has received around 15 telephone calls this morning regarding the issue.
Minister Ali Sabri said that candidates are able to sit the entrance exam in Sinhala language or in the Tamil language. There are lawyers who are unable to speak in the English language. He has also said that Sri Lankan law students are today leaving for countries such as America and Australia to do an LLB degree. He questioned how could they fulfill this objective by studying in Sinhalese.
නීතිඥවරු බිහි කරන්න. සමහර අයට අවශ්‍යයි. හැමදාම බමුණු කුලයට විතරක් ඉංග්‍රීසි සීමා කරගෙන ඉන්න. මේක වැරදි. අපේ ළමයි ටික අපි ඇමරිකාවටයි ඉංගලන්තයටයි ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාවටයි අවුට්සයිඩ් LLB කරන්නයි යවනවා. මේ ළමයින් ටික ඇතුළේ අරගෙන සිංහලෙන් උගල එළියට දානවා. උසාවියට ගියාට පස්සේ හැමදාම
Parliamentarian Chandima Veerakkade said that all reference work throughout the world are in the English language. All references in the online cases are also in English. Those who, without an English knowledge, would not be able to engage in trials.
Minister Manusha Nanayakara said that 99.5% students entering the medical faculty study in their mother languages, but they follow medical education in the English medium. He said that if such a situation is possible in the medical and engineering divisions, there is no reason that the law school would not be able to do so.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that a methodical program should be implemented in this connection. He added that English language proficiency should not start at the law school, but from the preschool level.
And Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture Rohana Pushpakumar says relevant urea fertilizer stocks required for the initial application in paddy cultivation in the Maha season have been issued to all agrarian development centres.
The Secretary has also informed the media in a communique that a group of persons calling themselves as members of farmer organizations are engaged in attempts to discourage the general public by making false statements regarding that they are not receiving fertilizers in time.
Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture Rohan Pushpakumar said that out of the entire stocks of urea fertilizer brought through Indian aid, they still have 34,000 metric tons. 21,000 metric tons of this quantity have to be set aside for maize cultivation. The Secretary added that the remaining stocks will be distributed among paddy farmers through coordination of district secretaries. Secretary Pushpakumar also said that they have already dispatched urea fertilizer stocks to the 5 districts in the eastern and the northern provinces. He also said that farmers in the districts will also have received the necessary urea fertilizer stocks in due course. The first application will have to be made in 14 days after sowing the paddy seeds. The second application is to be made after 4 weeks by around 20th of November. And the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says the government is always acting by placing confidence on the farmers as well as the rural community.
He has made these remarks during an inspection tour of a paddy field in Dankotua, which is being cultivated with indigenous MRV paddy variety using organic fertilizer. Mr. W.S.Y. Dharmasena is the proud owner of the 20-acre plot located in Atiavala in Dankotua. He says that the traditional variety named Hangimuttan is cultivated in his paddy field. Mr. Dharmasena adds that the nature of this unique type of paddy plant is that it grows in the form of bunches, resulting in a higher yield. Normally, a bounty harvest of 70% could be reaped in a single cultivation season. Treasurer of the Seed Paddy Bank, Priyantha Peramuna, who has also participated in the tour, said that he has in his possession more than 10 varieties of Mavi paddy. State Minister Ashoka Priyantha and parliamentarian Yadamini Gunawardena has also participated in the event.
The Ministry of Transport, Highways and Mass Media has decided to enter into an agreement of understanding over island-wide distribution of lotteries of the Development Lotteries Board via trains. The objective is to enhance income of the railways as well as to minimize the cost on transportation of lotteries by the Lotteries Board. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena at a meeting at the ministry has pointed out that the maintenance of proper coordination among state institutions would generate a favourable condition for all parties concerned. The minister has further stated that he hopes that all officials connected with the Department of Railways would extend their maximum support for the success of this national programme. Chairman of the Development Lotteries Board Ajit Naragala and officials of the Development of Railways have participated in the discussion. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that new program has got underway from today for the continuous transportation of millions of lotteries tickets via the railway. The proper coordination between state institutions would become beneficial for all relevant parties. He added that this would definitely pave the way for the enhancement of railway revenue and reduction of overhead costs of the Development Lotteries Board. And 38 Sri Lankan scientists have been included in the 2 regions of the world-famous scientists. They have been added to the list according to the latest gradings jointly established by the spokesmen of the universities of Stanford and elsewhere of the United States of America.
The classification is based upon the C-score system, which reflects the vibrancy of statements of scientists worldwide. The scientists have been evaluated in 176 fields. Sri Lankan scientists who have been included in this unique list of research intellectuals are Professors Methika Vitanage, Senaka Rajapaksha, Ranil Jayawardena, Nimal Senanayaka, Saroj Jayasinghe, S.A.M. Kularatna, Janaka De Silva, Nalika Malavige and Kamini Mendes. Another notable inclusion is a professor in medicinal science at the Rajarati University and Anuradhapura district parliamentarian Channa Jayasumena. All Sri Lankan scientists who have been honoured by the inclusion in the list were congratulated in Parliament today. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that the inclusion of the name of Professor in Medicinal Science and Anuradhapura district parliamentarian Channa Jayasumena in the list of world's topmost scientists is a great honour bestowed upon the Parliament as well as the country. He added that the other Sri Lankan in the list included Professor Methika Vitanage, Senaka Rajapaksha, Ranil Jayawardena, Nimal Senanayaka, Saroj Jayasinghe, S.A.M. Kularatna, Janaka De Silva, Nalika Malavige and Kamini Mendes. Speaker Mahindayapa Abewardena said that they are also extending best wishes to all Sri Lankan scientists who have been felicitated through this measure.
And meanwhile, the Board of Investments has set up a dedicated centre to offer a one-stop shop experience for the investors. The Board of Investment, as catalyst and facilitator of investment promotion, has set up a dedicated centre on the 27th floor at the Western Tower of the World Trade Centre. The aim is to provide an efficient and seamless service to investors while streamlining the investment approval process and strengthening the interagency coordination.
Launching of the Red Cross Economic Survey Report in Sri Lanka has taken place at the Galadari Hotel in Colombo recently. The Regional Director of Asia Pacific Region, Alexandra Matteo, who visited Sri Lanka recently, took part in the occasion.
We have launched an appeal for 28 million Swiss francs to provide cash nutritional support and livelihood support to people affected by the economic crisis. That doesn't mean it will all be covered. It's an ask. So that's part of the purpose of my visit here, is to be meeting donors and partners and explaining what we're going to do and why, and to ask for support. It's about 15%, I think, covered at the moment, so we're able to start work. 6,000 families have already received cash support, but our aspiration is to bring that to over 40,000. So a lot does depend now about whether or not we are successful in persuading partners and donors that we should invest in trying to mitigate the impacts of this economic crisis for the most vulnerable people in Sri Lanka. I know that's a hard ask because of all the other things going on in the world, but we believe it's necessary. We believe it will help protect life, livelihoods and health, and therefore we very much hope will be supported. So with the money we have received, with the Sri Lanka Red Cross, 6,000 families have already received assistance, but we're really hoping it can be more. Well, I think it will be difficult, to be honest, because there's so many other crises going on in the world at the same time. I think surveys like this one are going to help because it presents an evidence base. And our argument, I think, is widely accepted that in an economic crisis, there is a dip in people's capacity to cope. It needn't be a permanent dip. The nutrition is affected, income is affected, and the coping mechanisms tend to be negative. So people will go into debt, they will sell assets, children may drop out of school, as we've heard earlier, girls may marry early. These are all negative coping mechanisms from which it's very difficult to recover if you go down that route for too long. Our argument is that humanitarian assistance for a certain period of time can mitigate the risk of some of those negative coping mechanisms becoming irreversible. Now, it's not a permanent solution, so we would always argue to donors that yes, the development financing, the World Bank loans, the Asia Development Bank loans, the debt restructuring, the work with bilateral partners, ultimately the solutions are to be found there, and of course the government knows that. But what we hope is that Friends of Sri Lanka will recognise that humanitarian support should be part of how they're trying to work with this country throughout this crisis. Not the main part, because ultimately it doesn't solve problems, but it can mitigate risks in the short term. We hope we will be successful in persuading donors, but I understand that it will have to prioritise amongst other crises, so I don't think it will be easy. But I think the argument is strong. I think this assessment will help us make that argument in more compelling ways.
And meanwhile, the Department of Meteorology forecast further rain or thunder showers in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern and northern provinces, as well as in the Galle and Mathura district. It has also predicted the rainfall in other areas as well as especially in the evenings or at night. Certain locations in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces may receive heavy rainfalls exceeding 100 millimeters. The meteorology reports adds that fairly strong winds of the speed of 40 to 45 kilometers per hour could be experienced from time to time in the western slopes of the central highlands and also in the southern province. The sea areas around the island could turn rough with the intermittent rains or thunder showers. Wind speeds could also increase in the sea areas beyond the shores from Galle to Pothuwil, via Mathura and Hambantota. It has also says that the high seas, winds and rough waters could be witnessed in the coastal areas extending from Puttalam to Galle via Colombo. Our correspondent says many low-lying areas in the Vavuniya district have been inundated due to heavy rains. Many locations in Medavachiya have also become underwater. 3 sluice gates of the Lakshapana Reservoir remain open as a result of the heavy rain lashing of the water feeding areas. Hydroelectricity generation at Lakshapana Power Station is at the maximum capacity. It has also been reported that water feeding areas of the Norton Bridge and Canyon Hydroelectricity Power Station are receiving heavy rainfall. As a result, overflowing at the Vimalasura Reservoir has commenced. A single sluice gate at the Canyon Reservoir has been opened by 3 inches. Water levels in the Castle Lake and Mount Sakale reservoirs are reaching the spill level. Assistant Director of the Nuwara Eliya District Disaster Management Unit, Ranjitha Lahakon, says water level in the Kalani River has gone up with the opening of the sluice gates of the reservoirs. A minor flood situation continues to prevail in the low-lying areas of the banks of the Kalani River. Provision of relief to affected people in the Colombo and Gampaha district are being carried out continuously.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyabalapati has instructed the Commissioner General of Excise to submit a report speedily over depriving the government of receiving tax revenue due to illegal maintenance of liquor sales outlets. The Commissioner General has disclosed this fact at a discussion with the Association of Liquor License Holders today. The meeting has taken place at the Ministry of Finance. On this occasion, special attention has been focused on unauthorized liquor shops. The State Minister has ordered Commissioner General of Excise M.J. Gunasiri to hand him over a report in this regard within 1 month. The meeting has also dealt in depth on toddy being produced in Sri Lanka. Being produced in Sri Lanka. The country's daily toddy requirement is 160,000 litres. However, according to the charts, the daily manufacturing capacity is only 45,000 litres. It has also been pointed out that certain unscrupulous persons are engaged in illegal methods to supply the shortfall of this alcoholic beverage.
And meanwhile, the Dialogue Foundation has commenced a program to get together all donors and who are willing to extend assistance to Sri Lanka who are facing a challenging economic situation. The chief operational group in this regard is the Sarvodaya Srimadana campaign and the Independence Auditing Institution. The financial assistance program was unveiled via the karuna.lk website recently. It has lined up non-profit organizations, institutions and social welfare programs. The objective is to strengthen the lives of general public with a sense of social responsibility. The institutions hoping to engage in their welfare programs are able to register themselves in the karuna.lk website and to receive services free of charge.
The Dialogue Foundation is different, and it's a major step forward. Existing in Sri Lanka at the moment, because the Sarvodaya movement will serve as the principal moderator to verify the requests and also verify the recipients as well.
DWC is proud to come forward as auditors to check the channeling of funds to the beneficiaries. We hope that all these people coming together will increase the credibility and trust in people making the contribution.
Expression of gratitude for the good deeds done is a quality which is depleting from human society. Even under such a pathetic condition, the virtue of the expression of thankfulness was displayed by an animal from Batticlaw recently. This is the story of a monkey friend who has arrived today to pay his last respects to a man who has given it food every day for many years. 52-year-old Pidambram Rajan of Thalamkura, Batticlaw has passed away recently. People at the funeral have witnessed an ash-coloured monkey climbing to the coffin of the dead person in an extremely mournful fashion. This has been an amazing scene not only to the family members but to the neighbours as well. All attempts to chase away the monkey has been in vain. Even after the burial of the body, the monkey friend was seen visiting his grave. The monkey has made it a habit to arrive at the Rajan's house to receive from him tasty foods such as biscuits and bananas. The eyewitnesses say the monkey was behaving in an extremely sensitive manner even after learning that his friend has departed. Well, that's it on Local Stories. We'll be back with news overseas. Still stay tuned then.
Prima Kotumi hot and spicy cricket. KTM his sanat sashi packet to angka satahan kara. Visituna 43 SMS karan. Rupiah 2,50,000 mudal tiyagi atulu tawad watina tagi dinapata dina ganna. November 30 dakwa pamana.
Prima Kotumi fan tamai.
Welcome back with international news. A RISE group warned today that some 1 billion children are extremely high risk due to the climate change harms, adding that youth's living standard failed to improve the last decade.
The Kids' Right Index, based on figures supplied by UN agencies, also said more than one-third of the world's children, some 820 million, were currently exposed to heat waves. Water scarcity affected 920 million children worldwide, while diseases such as malaria and dengue affected some 600 million children, or 1 in every 4, Dutch NGO Kids' Right said. The Kids' Right Index is the first and only ranking that measures how children's rights are respected annually.
இப்படி வந்திட இப்படி அல்பங்கள் Prima Katumi Fantamai.
Welcome back with your sports update and its cricket. The Sri Lankan fast bowler Dusmantha Chamira will not be able to participate in the upcoming matches of the T20 World Cup cricket tournament due to his defect in a leg. According to the skipper of the Sri Lankan team, Dasun Chanaka, he said that there is a greater possibility of the bowler Lahiru Kumara and Bhanuka Fernando will participate in the encounter against Netherlands tomorrow. And the Netherlands encounter against Sri Lanka, the T20 fixture, will be held at 9:30 a.m. Sri Lankan time tomorrow.
It was a very good game apart from the middle order. So I think we need to have, myself and Banu needs to kick on in this tournament as well. Pathum Nissanka, he was really played throughout and it was outstanding inning. And Manidu, Dushmantha and even Mahesh Dikshana, we know how good they are when it comes to the these kind of games. So they were performing well. So from the time they started their career, so we know ever since they're playing, they go and perform like this, and they will perform well in tomorrow's game as well. So tomorrow we are looking forward for tomorrow game.
You must be pretty pleased with the way someone like Pathum is coming up with match-winning performances.
See, they are in the system with the team cricket, even in the national setup, they were there. So as a group, the selectors and the coaching staff really supported them as well. So it's so nice to see they are performing like this.
You got a couple of injury concerns. Can you just update us on whom you are getting down from Colombo?
It's not finalized yet, so selectors are deciding. I think definitely 2 or 3 fast bowlers will be here soon.
Coming in as Asia Cup champions and a big team, to lose the first match and the possibility of maybe not even making to the second round, what kind of pressure was it, and how did you gather around, and how did you just come back?
Asian Cup champions means history, so it's just a title for us, so there is no pressure at all. So we just need to concentrate on our own performances, and what we need to is to do to make sure that we get into that second round from after the next game. So we know our strength, and the first game we didn't execute up to the mark, so that's where we got beaten by Namibia. But we are a far more better team. We performed in the first game.
The Ireland and West Indies teams have won their matches played today at the first round of the T20 World Cup cricket tournament, and for the moment the Group B teams have won 1 match each.
The Scotland team, batting first in the match against Ireland, has scored 176 runs with the loss of 5 wickets. Michelle Jones has scored 86 runs and Curtis Camper took 2 wickets. The Ireland team, at the end of 19 overs, has scored 180 runs with the loss of 4 wickets. George Dockrell, 39 not out.
இப்படி வந்திட இப்படி அல்பங்கள் Prima Katumi Fantamai.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing over with Sharifa. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.